Yeah. Yeah, I can. There we go. And that should give me a very nice little farm there. Oh, actually, this one does need to go the other way, though. Oh, okay, fair enough. Alright, that's not a terrible setup there, in my opinion. This radar can move as well. In fact, let's get all of this sorted. Oh god. Should not do that around these things. Honestly, though, I think we're going to want some extra guns around here. Probably over this way now, though. They will probably help. Bless them. They will not really help. Fake help. Because then they are stuck. So I'm going to reposition something like that over here as well. And we'll hope that this is going to be enough to deal with the shenanigans over yonder. We'll see. Oh, that's not what I meant to do. Kind of wondered about here, if I'm honest, but yeah, we'll have to do that. Okay. Yeah, I have had two small stompers show up and do exactly what their name suggests they will. Was not disappointed. Stompers lived up to their reputation. Fearsome reputation. Can I connect this in some meaningful way? I can, but it would probably be better if I popped it here instead. Oh, really? I thought you said you could connect, you scallywag. I lack walls. I should probably set up somewhere to make them. No? Oh god, our energy network is rough, let's say. It's probably from all the charging going on. Yeah, that'll help. Right, let's move these. I don't want to dot some guns around these perimeters. But they'll be a little bit... They're more like backup guns in case the main areas get attacked. Ideally, nothing gets this far. Might be a fool's hope, but it is a hope all the same. Honestly, moving that one just to the side a little bit would make that whole area feel so much more secure to me. So I think that's exactly what we're about to do. Right, let's see if my bots can do it. They should be able to, because everything is being pulled up from here. So my idea here is have layered defenses. So the gun turrets around here, like along a sort of inner ring. Similar defense to the castles. I've grown up around concentric rings of defense. If the outer walls are being stormed, the inner walls can basically they've got covering fire over those walls. So even if invaders manage to storm one of the walls and are piling up onto the battlements, the inner walls have got a clear line of sight to engage that battlement from behind where it's not defended at all, so they can just mow down attackers. That, I mean, from what we saw very briefly in the one fight with the Stomper that I actually got to witness, these walls do nothing for them. It's only the small ones that are impeded by these. I'm not sure if the kind of intermediate ones are a struggle at all. Why are we out of walls here? Oh, damage, no doubt. Oh, no, we're out of landfill. Okay, let me go and grab that then. But either way, having concentric rings of defense, I think, would be useful in this particular instance. Pridwen doing a solid for us right now, keeping everything going. Right. Now, to set up stone production, I simply need stone brick, which means I just need to bake the stone. So let's quickly do that. Copy. You know what? Well, just no, I don't have the means to do that. Actually, I was going to say I've got just hello, Aries boy. Yeah. Let's grab all of these. I'll set these up to do my stone for me. So in actual fact, this is not going to work. What I need here then is copper plate, which I'm actually delivering on that side. So yeah, ultimately not necessary. I'm not actually going to use the brick for anything, I don't think. Oh, wait. No, concrete uses brick, doesn't it? Yes. Yes, it does. I'm going to need the concrete. So... What exactly was I going to use the concrete for? I've forgotten. yes. So I'm going to need a little bit of something going on with this. So I will have this going out on a belt. Or alternatively, I could have two separate ones doing this. So one making walls. Now putting these into a chest. The other making concrete. It was just basic concrete, wasn't it? Please tell me it's basic concrete. Yes. Basic concrete. So that's going to require a source of water, which should be a trivial matter to hook up. Really liking the Gleba music so far. Really loving the music in general, if I'm honest. There we go. And now it just needs iron ore, which I should be able to provide it. Yeah. Here we go. Concrete production underway. Walls and concrete. Glorious. Now, I do need to actually manually move down the stone every now and then, but that's alright, I think. In fact, I'll do the same again. That should be good to go for a while. Now, to make the heater, I only need 20 concrete. Let's make the 5 heat pipes now. Uses heat energy to turn water into steam, so I'm going to need one of those. Going to need a whole heck of a lot of iron for that. Just a little bit of a potch. No, never mind. It was a potch. No longer. How much does this generate? This can consume 10.3, produces 103 a second, temperature 500. Consumption 60, so technically 2 would be okay? So sure, let's get 2 of those. We are well low on power, sadly. Let's go and top up the little tiny generator we've got. Because again, coming back to one of the things that we spotted earlier, and I think it's going to be clutch, especially in situations like we were dealing with just now, where we had you know what, I'm just going to turn that around, where we had the eggs being released. Actually, why am I even doing that? I have no idea. Gonna get rid of all this. Don't need it. What we need is a burner inserter. Good old burner inserters. Back to you we are. And I will pop this in. I'm going to tell you to prioritize wood, carbon when I've got it. And if you don't have it, spoil. Alright. That should keep us going for a little bit. I just went nuclear when I went to Gleba, so all new used for the heater to me. New used for the heater? I'm not sure how to interpret that. I must confess. I want to take a bunch of this out here as well. Right, so 90 concrete already. My lord. Only make a bit. Only make a bit. Good enough for me. Right, there we are. All new uses. Right. I use heating towers as garbage disposal. See, that's the thing that I'm looking at, Zeke the Mad. Is the fact that this will not stop burning even when it's reached max temperature. So I could theoretically throw anything in there that I don't want to be around until it spoils. Specifically, if we have a look down here, these so-and-sos, the Pentapod X. Because I'm going to want them. I'm just not going to want them to spoil. So that's going to be a big one for me. Now, where should we set up our heating area? I think we're going to try and pop it down here. Let's I'm not sure how much room I'm going to need on this. Pop it down there. We are going to want to create heating pipes. Actually, I guess technically we don't need to. It might still be nice though. One here. And then 2 of these. Now I want to get water up here, and is this water down here? Yes, it is. There's water everywhere on Gleba. Gleba is very wet. Okay, so do you want to know something funny? Actually, why am I even asking you that? If I thought you didn't, I wouldn't have even suggested it. Gleba is very amusing, considering it's a wet, swampy planet, to someone who speaks Welsh. Because glebe is the Welsh word for wet. Gleba, it's not quite the same spelling, but the pronunciation of Gleba is close enough to glebe. You could go gleba if you wanted to. It's kind of a Welshish slang, but kind of Wenglish a bit. But it's effectively like, I'm going to the planet wet in Welsh. Or wetty. Will I be able to fit a second one in there? Might be able to. Might be able to. Oh, yeah. Very much that I'm going to need that over here, but let's now throw together another one over here, just in case. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that would actually work. So I'll prep for it. Okay. Well, it's not wrong, no, indeed. Yeah, no, that is 100% on point for how place names are in Wales. If you went to a swamp, it would probably be called, like, you know, depending on what else was going around, because you wouldn't, but it would probably be called something like wet moss or something like that. That would probably be the name of the swamp translated into English words. And depending on which part of Wales you're at for that swamp, it would be anything from wet moss to wet moss near the White Rock, beside the whirling pools, the twisted oak. Right. Now my hope is that this is going to be able to output stupid amounts of power. But, I mean, the turbines, I'm fairly certain, can only really work if... I mean, I don't know if this is going to be enough, basically. But let's just find out. Whomp. They won't kick in unless they reach a minimum temperature of something. But I forget how much. Ah! Eventually. Eventually we'll be there. Actually, I should probably set up a little bit of something over here to make sure this is constantly loading. No. How long will that take to lower now, though? Or does it start from the beginning? No, it doesn't. Okay. Alright. Maybe I should give you this. Doesn't Wales have a town with a name long enough to be nigh impossible for most people to pronounce? I mean, if by most people you mean people who can't speak Welsh, then yes. Yes, that kind of. Yoink. Then double yoink. Then quadruple yoink. Technically does not need to be in range anymore. Also, I'm not even sure that this needs to be where it is. Might be good enough to just hook this up over on this side somewhere. I do like how so many location names are just basically someone telling you where it is based on a landmark. The place by the big tree near the river, and then another person interpreting that as the actual name. Yeah, no, absolutely. Ashley says the real town name is shorter, but they say there's for tourists. It's not the town name. It's the name of the train station. And then the name of the train station is actually that. But yeah, I mean, most people don't, you know, in regular conversation, don't just like vomit out. Most people will just say Llanfairpwll. Which is hard enough for a lot of people who can't speak Welsh to say. I mean, the double L's are a doozy for most people. Llanfairpwll by itself will defeat 80% of people who try to say the name. Saying the whole name, and you extend that up to about 95%. Show off. Oh, absolutely. That was 100% showing off. Right, so one thing I'm going to need to do with Prydwen, I'm going to need to add something else in, and that is going to be a new for logistics. And I'm going to say... one of each of these. Actually, no, this is kind of silly. Why would I want one of each? Just go for the basics. Basics are all you need. All you need. I'm even going to take logistics bot out of outpost supplies. And I'm going to put a logistics bot down here. Because I can still make use of this. Outpost supplies also still needs to have repair packs in there. Because as long as the repair packs are in the roboports, they'll function. But at this point, if you want logistics bots, you may as well do this. I mean, I could just double it up, but the problem is that then it requests more and more and more. Some bits for humoring us and saying all of that. You're more than welcome. More than welcome. D173, thank you very much for the 42 months, mate. And the anonymous gifter who gifted a sub, thank you very much. Gifted a sub to Shy Wolf. And also to Demonworks. Yet another login also gifted a sub to Yota Black. Thank you so much, everyone. That's super kind of you. Diolch yn fawr. Also, a little bit ago, Nuki World. Thank you very, very much for the 31 months, mate. Diolch. And another friendly ghost just gifted out another sub. Thank you so incredibly much for all the support. That's very kind of you indeed. Right. Okay. Should I send Prydwen back? Do I want Prydwen to head back for a little bit? Sure. Prydwen. Go ye on. There we are. Prydwen is off. While you're doing that, I will head back. I need to go and grab a few more odds and sods to finish repairing all of this, but then we are going to be in a much better place. What I would want from you is a line hooking up there, which you most certainly can do. Right, I'm going to say enable or disable this. Based on Yumiko fruits being less than a certain amount. I'm just going to put one stack. But I'm also going to read the contents. So if I were to place this in there, yeah. So if it's also carrying that, it's not going to turn on for some reason, which I approve of. Cracker-lackin', thank you very much for the sub, mate. 4 months and counting. Right, let's swing on back, pick up the walls. We're still going okay in here, actually. Yeah, it's just slow. Just slow. That's fine. Guess I could make steel smelters now that I've got stone bricks. He says, without any stone bricks. Yoink up all the steel. There we are. That's much better. Nice and fast. Oh, I bet that stuff burns crazy fast. Once all of this is... what's the... Oh, yeah, no. There we are. It's starting to be absorbed now. So we shouldn't be seeing a lot of pollution leaking out for a while, hopefully. Forvisk, thank you very much for the gift subs, mate. Massively appreciated. And Budagog for the bits, and Forvisk for the bits, to be sure. Thank you so, so much. There we go. Right, our defenses are now in place. Now it is time for us to tear down what we had before and rebuild. Stronger, faster, better. Batter? Stronger, faster, and better. Faster, I even said. What the hell? We're drifting into Adam's family, drifting into, like, you know, just a regular old fish and chip shop. Who knows what's going on today? Oh, God, I gave you bots, didn't I? What a stupid mistake. Right, there you go. I will bring your bots back now. Well, things are boiling, so there's probably some fastering. Yeah, fair, fair. I bet Gleba smells awful. Yeah, you'd be surprised, actually. In my experience, certain plants rotting smell very sweet. Sometimes sickly sweet, but sometimes actually very pleasant. Agreed. Some plants be weird like that. Yeah. So, what we're going to want to do over here is set up... In a way, there's a part of me that feels like ultimately we're going to kind of want almost a constant production. Certainly we're going to want a constant production of Bioflux. Because with that, we're going to want to do this. Effectively, we want to constantly be producing iron bacteria. Just on a constant level. We're also going to want it for all kinds of things like making plastic, making sulfur, and turning jelly into lubricant. Like all of our oil needs, because we can make nuclear fuel. Rocket fuel out of this. We can just straight up make rocket fuel. And I believe, if my memory serves, so there's bacterial cultivation we need to get to. Bioflux processing, those are both made with Bioflux. But there's other things too. Where are they? There's rocket fuel, greater rocket fuel productivity. There's fish production. I was certain there was one. Where we can effectively get... Well, I guess plastic by itself is good enough, and rocket fuel by itself is good enough. You know, you don't need anything else than rocket fuel. So, yeah. So, Bioflux is pretty much where we need to be at. The long and short of that. Legendary fish, you say? Yes, indeed. You can make fish. How you mine for fish? Bioflux, apparently. Nutrients. Nutrients, how you mine for fish. Aavak, take note that inserters will highlight an object they can interact with. Ergo, you can't insert into the cargo. Oh, that's a good point, actually, Duffelfish. I only just read that. I do apologize for being so slow on the uptake with that one. You're going to restart the whole process. Are the fish grown from Misc Bio? What? Surely it would be Pisc Bio. Well done if you get the reference. Not much of a reference, really. Well done if you understand my silly joke. Now, there are going to be lots of things we're sending down here to get burnt. Only some of them are, oh god, are going to be jelly nuts. Really, realistically, the jelly nuts probably shouldn't be burnt unless absolutely necessary. Also, I could probably set up a better thing than this. So let's pull all that back in. I'll set up a little solar farm off to the side somewhere. I mean, it is useful to have something that will help out. It's just, I'm going to need to spend so many solar panels to get anything worthwhile here. There you go. Also, there you go. Slowly climbing. At what point do these kick in? Does it have to be 500? It has to be 500. So it's going to take a long time to get this up. But we almost got there. Hey! All the power forever! Until we don't have it anymore. And gone. It's nice while it lasted, chat. Honestly, we probably want an array of accumulators purely for the time when we're going to be dealing with that. So let me quickly make you. I'll pop you there. Trees and rocks only. Because whenever that thing turns on, I'm not going to want to waste the power that it's producing because it's going to produce way more than I need. Oh, that was not what I wanted to do. Oh, too late. You know what? It's so much easier to do this from the map. Also, Aavak, with the new... also, new with 2.0 Aavak, you can read the temperature of machines that have it. Oh, that actually sounds very nice. Yeah. Because why not? You didn't think I was going to do something sensible with my accumulators, did you? Oh, you fools. You fools. Come to an Aavak stream and expect something sensible? Madness. I would like all of that. I will drop off... honestly, I will drop this off for now, even though I'm not going to actually be taking it out. That's fine. Also need to drop that off. Need to drop these off. Want to pick those up. Actually, no, we don't. Probably drop all of those off, honestly. Converting those into the yeah, they require so little. I may as well. It'll be a slow process, certainly, but not unrewarding. Actually, no. What am I doing? The point is not to make more. It's to simply convert the ones I've got. Oh, no. Wait. There was a reason. I wanted the gears. Brain was in autopilot there for a second. There we go. I could just fill the center with solar panels if I really wanted to. Do I really want to? I'm not sure. Fine, chat, you win. I will do something sensible with my accumulators, but only because it makes a nice pattern. It's the only reason. There we go. But mostly this is here just to be a potential accumulator charger for all of the power that we will hopefully be generating once the heating tower is up fully. I may as well just benefit a little bit from some extra. Yes, that isn't the worst thing in the universe. Almost looks like a little house. Looks enough like a little house that I am compelled to make it into one. Don't pretend you don't love my little house chat. You and I would both know you're lying. There we go. That works perfectly. Okay. Now, with that done and the gubbins out of my inventory, it's time for us at last to actually look at setting up a proper production. Now, since Yumiko processing is the best way of me getting nutrients initially, well, no, we probably don't need to go with that, honestly. We can probably go a different route. We can go all the way up to Bioflux and then start turning them into nutrients and then feeding that back through the system. So the first thing is we need to turn Jelly Nut and Yumiko into Yumiko Mash and Jelly. Then to make this, I use the Jelly and the Yumiko Mash. It's 6-second crafting time. This is a 1-second crafting time. Okay. Well, let's start off by throwing one of these down to see how long that would take. There we go. It needs 5 Yumiko Mash every... Is that every second? Or every 2 seconds there? I think that's breaking it down to every 2 seconds. So I would need 2 of these and I would have excess. Actually, that produces 6 a second. We absolutely don't need that. In fact, one of these is already producing enough. And then jelly nuts into jelly. Produces 12 a second. Which is way more than we need. Excess is bad, but the caveat being that that just turns into spoilage, which I can get rid of. However, see, the problem is because these processes require nutrients to run, and the nutrients are breaking down in them as they go, it's always going to be a bit of a problem, yeah. So that could, realistically, one of these could run 3 of these. But that's 15. This would only give me 12. So now I've got an excess. Sadly. We're now at 18, so I've got an excess of 3. But there are other things I use Yumiko Mash for. I won't be using it for this, but to make copper bacteria, I've got a small chance of it, but there are reasons to be doing it. Is it not 2 a second? Oh, yeah, it is 2 a second. Oh, my lord, yeah. Yeah, it's 2 a second. Yeah, yeah. Okay, so this would effectively produce a decent amount of Bioflux. Currently, the only thing I use Bioflux for is to make more nutrients. 3 of them would produce 40 nutrients a second, which is way more than I need. Like a crazy amount more than I need. I'm also going to have to be using this in order to produce the seed. Oh, wait. Do these modules change that? That may actually be really good. Yeah, I think going for full-on productivity, I could speed it up a little bit just to cancel out the loss. No, I think we'd go all in on productivity, honestly. At least on these ones, just to make sure that we've got a good flow of seeds going back. If you don't have productivity models, you get negative seeds? No. You absolutely do not get negative seeds without productivity. The chambers themselves have a base 50% productivity. Okay, so I've got an idea of how much I need. Beyond this step, we don't know how much we're going to be needing because I don't have the research for it. But obviously, I know there is more to it than this. To make these, I need extra jelly and I need extra Numako. So I feel that we are going to be bringing through loops of resources. I think that makes the most sense of anything. So let's start this off. I would want Numako to be going up. Three of these in place. Let's just grab these. Set to make Numako mash. Now I can try and control that to a certain degree. And I do think that there's a point to it. Now the other thing I can do is I could have the Numako and the jelly nut on the same belt. I kind of like that idea, if I'm honest. But another way of doing it is to branch it off the belt. Because effectively, I want to be able to check the spoilage at the end. So I want a loop. I very much want a loop. At least 2 wide. It comes back around and is given priority on reinsertion. So that'll be Numako. I could do this in different ways, but ultimately I need a loop. And the reason for that, and I could have still, this loop could just be the Umako and the jelly nut coming through here. But I need a filter at some point along this loop that will take out any spoilage. And that's why I want it to be a loop. Now, if we put output priority left and filter it for spoilage, then that will always clear this line. No matter what's on it, it gets cleared out. So I'm thinking jelly nut and Umako comes through. So Umako from that direction, jelly nut from this direction. I can probably have some chests just in case I'm walking around, and as I've got right now, a little bit of stuff is in my inventory. Let's bring it down a little bit more. It pings me that doesn't simply want to connect. There we go. So I could do this. There we go. There we go. That would be for jelly nuts. They would be loaded on and they'd be cycled. And once they rot, they'll be fed out in this direction. So at this point, I do want a belt to take the Umako to the side. Want something there. And this should only filter Umako. Now, the issue with this is that I need this to be reintroduced. If it gets down to this side, it needs to be brought back into the line. Maybe an inserter would be better here, because this has got absolute filtering priority, and I don't necessarily want that. So an inserter, maybe even a bulk inserter, set to filter out Umako fruit. And I guess much the same. We're going to be using a lot of filters. I suspect an awful lot of filtering. Let's move this up. Let's make this loop a little bit tidier. That simply reintroduces it back onto that belt. Actually, let's go for a substation. If I'm going to do something like that, let's use the big boys. Right, so we would want, I think it was 3 of these, if I recall correctly. These will simply be making the mash. I might want a little bit more. I don't really want waste, though, and the problem is they are going to consume nutrients at all times. On that note, actually, I want them to be 1 tile further back, and the reason for that will be so I can pull nutrients off the belt. Gonna need more long-handed inserters. Long-handled. Is there a way to just deconstruct trees rocks? Yeah. I'll showcase how to do it. You make a new construction planner, pop it in your inventory or into a hotbar slot, right-click on it, tell it only trees and rocks. Likewise, if you wanted to only take out belts. You can just pop that in, so on and so forth. But yeah, that's how you do that. Hopefully that helps. Now the thing with these is I'm also going to want to take out any spoilage. But it needs to only be spoilage that's getting removed. So use that there. Huh. Oh, wait a second. Wait a second. I'm being rather silly here. I know that I'm only going to be placing Yumako fruit on the inside of this belt. So why don't I leverage that fact and use the outside for nutrients? Because then a single inserter can pick it all up. I want to still deposit the spoilage out here though. Because then this will pick up any nutrients that spoil. That works for me. Though it does kind of lock the nutrients onto a single belt, which isn't as good. Whereas if I have the nutrients on a higher... Yeah, no. I'm going to change that up back to the way I had it before, because having the nutrients on a separate belt does afford me the opportunity to remove, check how many nutrients are on the belt. And that's going to be worth its weight in gold. But I can output the spoilage onto that belt. That's no issue. So this will be the nutrient belt. That itself is going to be a loop, but I need to work out where it's looping. It's probably going to be a snaking loop, I should imagine, because it's got to visit every single biochamber on the route. We only needed one jelly nut area, so basically going to copy this. This will be set to jelly nuts. Yeah. And I only need one of these. So this isn't necessary. Good luck, Gleba. Aavak says, I have made giants. They're off to bed. Take care, mate. Fortuna Decay said, Aavak, you're slowly converging on almost the exact blueprints that Neil said. Really? Oh, that's a little bit sad. That means there may be less variation in how to set this up. Which is... Not gonna lie, I was kind of looking forward to doing things differently, but... I guess if there is just an obvious right way, there's an obvious right way. Won't the spoilage be unable to place if the line is full of jelly nuts? That is true, actually. I could instead insist that anything like that gets pulled over. Like so. So I always push things back onto this route. Uncle Pork says, if it's any consolation, this looks nothing like my builds. Thank you. Wait, your builds are probably amazing. God damn it, Bentham, why? Now I'm going to have to rebuild and keep going until, through some providence, I happen upon the perfect build that you have so evidently mastered. Right. Gonna have... I'm going to want to take nutrients up a little bit further, much the same way. But this is going to output the Yumiko mash onto this belt. And it has to be very specifically filtered to only pull Yumiko mash. That being said, actually... No, it doesn't. Once these materials get to the biochamber, I'm going to have to filter for spoilage anyway. So this is unnecessary. Just empty it out in this direction. If you're wondering why I'm, well, I was going to say, if you're wondering why I'm spinning it in that direction, is so that I could enforce that it enters the jellies on one side of the belt and the Yumiko mash is on the other. But if there is a possibility that this is also going to involve spoilage, I need to rethink that a bit. So this is going to be coming along, and I'm thinking I'm simply going to do this. So I guess it doesn't matter if it's on one side of the belt. And I can simply keep expanding this outwards as I need. That shouldn't be a problem. Now, finally, we're going to want this one set up top for the Bioflux. So once again, I want this up here, but this time something like that. This time we take that out because it's not pulling off this belt anymore. In fact, why don't I just copy this part? I always want this to be at the end of the chain, because that's the most likely location to have the spoilage appear. Now, with this, in its current position, it's actually fairly easy for me to just insert things on here. And these are set to Bioflux. How about I move this over a little bit? Sure, I'll place them here for now. If I need to move them elsewhere, I will later. That gives me everything. These are set to make Bioflux. And then I simply need to do something with it. So in this case, it's going to be used almost exclusively for nutrient production for the time being, until I understand the chain a little bit better. My lord, I ran out of belts. Let me go and grab some more. But we're going to have probably excess jelly nuts sent over there just in case they need to be broken down. Let's grab those. Also, where is Pridwen right now? Pridwen is presently novice and is actually doing a fairly good job of collecting all the resources. I was getting a little bit chalked up though, I must confess. Little bit chalked up. Oh lord. Stack size on these is not 100. It is... Yeah, it is 100. Why is it only 50 there? Wait. 25? Who? Well, that's an awful lot of rocket trips for nothing. I guess I could just request the explosives then. I don't think I'm actually stockpiling them. But also... It's going to bring up 10 stacks. I would have to say a minimum of this one. Like, how much of these are used? It's one explosive. Ugh. Say, okay, so I could say... two stacks. Or rather, yeah, two full stacks of explosives can be brought up. That I'll allow. But I'm not even sure that Novice is actually stockpiling explosives for collection. I do not believe it is. Nope. I guess I can make it, but wasn't on my list of things to do today. Yeah, I know. That simple rocket arrow is 2 rockets worth of stuff. Why? I almost want to bring up 10 stacks of explosives at this point, because it's still going to cost me 1 rocket, but it's more the Pridwen is running low on places to stuff things. In fact, I'm not even sure I should. No, you know what? No, we're not bringing that up. That's not happening. I have changed my mind. I will request it as a special request. But that is most vexing. Oh well. Right, so, we want... Oh no, we collected the belts, that's all I needed. Right, so... Now, I want to create... Oh, thank goodness. We want to be making nutrients. Pretty much constantly. There is never going to be a time when we don't want nutrients being made. So, with that in mind... If I were to use Bioflux to nutrients, it's going to require 5 Bioflux a second. I'm going to say the other one should be spoilage to nutrients. And finally, the last one will be spoilage to nutrients from this. From a regular assembler. It isn't the first go-to, But it has to be one of them. Now, the Bioflux has an incredibly long breakdown time. So I suspect... Actually, let me move this around a little bit. Bioflux has like a 2-hour timer, I think. So of all the things that I'm going to be breaking down, it's going to have the longest timer. But it's going to be producing a lot of nutrients. Ideally. Let's use a tunnel. No, maybe let's not. I dislike this part, I'm not gonna lie. So I can't see a thing. Oh, there we are. Much better. In a way, I don't really want to have such a long line of nutrients. It feels like that's going to be an issue for me, but here we are anyway. And from here, I simply run all the way back up. And then I run out of belts, because life hates me. Right, let me go and grab... I should have some spare by now. Tiny amount, apparently. Oh, it's because I sent... put one away. Damn. There we go. I'll keep things on the make for a while. I'll just fill in the rest of this with yellow belts for now, just to get the system going. But I believe this is all in pursuit of being able to use bacteria multiplying. And priority should be the right as well. There we go. So that'll cycle the nutrients around until they spoil, at which point I'm going to want them to I guess over here exit upwards. But this loop might end up being much longer in the end, so I'm not entirely sure on the setup here, but in fact I could have the spoilage be pulled off around here if I really wanted to. You'd want output priority to the right, spoilage. There we go. Spoilage all coming out in one place. Now, I should only really use spoilage to... Ooh, ooh, ooh. What's happening? Oh, Pridwen's taking damage. Maybe couldn't get things back inside because there's too much stuff. Okay, I'm going to take outpost ammo off the list. That was the first time we've seen that happen since the initial trip over here. I think we filled this with way too much gubbins. Very much too much. Like, I shouldn't even have this much stuff here. Send that down. Send this down. Send those down. Yeah, I probably need to add a little bit of extra room on here, honestly. Either way, let's go and grab our gubbins. It should not have that many combinators. I'm not sure what's going on with the logic there. I clearly misunderstand how to set up those things, but it should not have that many combinators and such. But back to what we're doing here. Nutrients will cycle through. Occasionally this is going to want to pull from spoilage. And when it does, it's going to want to... Ooh, actually that's a good point. These should realistically be on the loop. Ooh, yeah, we are going to very much want those on the loop. I probably shouldn't have pulled that down, actually, thinking about it. So I'm still going to want spoilage to be pulled off about here. But this can... Yeah, this should go up and around. This shouldn't be side loading onto the loop. It should be on the loop itself. And ideally, after they have pulled off. So, in fact, at that point, this may have pulled the spoilage off already. But as I said, there is a special case with this. Where I want an assembler to be able to also do this recipe. Now, it's not going to need nutrients, so it can just sit right over here. In this case, I kind of want this to be brought down. So let's do it like this instead and move this whole section up. That way that part can go straight through. There we go. But this one should realistically... this one's going to get the production bonus, so I only want this one to do it if it has to. So I'm going to say this one should only kick in well, honestly, at this point, I may as well just take this up since it's going to join on to this anyway. This one should only kick in if this one is out of nutrients. Like if this one has no nutrients, then this one can become active. So read contents. And this should enable if nutrients in there is equal to 0. Or instead, I should wire it up to this so that it doesn't even insert them unless it needs to. Let's make sure that it knows exactly what it's picking up, though. Nutrients equal to 0. They're picking up nutrients. Only nutrients, because I might have other stuff on this line at some point. Okay, I think so far these are only pulling in, that's only pulling in, always outputting. Now the Bioflux could potentially turn, and so as a consequence, I am actually going to want that on a loop as well. There is a part of me that sort of wants to have things like these pulling the freshest items, as that does matter. Something made with a fresh item simply lasts longer as a consequence. Ah, of course you had to be there, didn't you? Absolute scoundrel, you. Yeah, fine, you can go there. To go back, get my belts. I never noticed that the assembler could do the spoilage to nutrient recipe. Yeah, I kind of figure that it's there as a kickstart. Like if you've managed to completely stall your whole system, then the assembler can, without the production benefit, turn nutrients into spoilage into nutrients, so the worst possible recipe. But that would be enough to start things up again. Realistically, that should actually be over here, so that this would get the nutrients first, but